So this skill is called thank you brain. Every single one of us experiences really painful thoughts and emotions throughout the day. And a lot of times skills focus on how to get rid of negative emotions or how to stop having painful thoughts. And although those skills have their place, this actually takes a different approach. So I'm going to make the argument that the thoughts and emotions that you are experiencing are tied to your values in some way. So, for example, many of us are worried about um, the potential effects of this COVID virus, about how it might impact our friends, our families, our loved ones, our jobs. And these worries are pretty justified. We also would not experience these worries if the folks that the worries were about weren't important to us in some way, right? You worry about your children specifically because you love them and you want them to be safe and cared for and all of those things, right? We worry about our loved ones because we want them to be healthy because we care so much for them. And so rather than getting into the nitty-gritty of asking ourselves, what's the evidence behind these thoughts and do they make sense? And can I bring in other facts or things that might help me dial down the intensity of this emotion? I want you to focus here on thanking your brain for the message that it is trying to communicate to you. So if you are experiencing fear or worry today, I want you to literally pause yourself and say, thank you, brain, for reminding me of how important X, Y, or Z, these people, my job, my family's stability is for me. Instead of getting into this position where you're fighting and going back and forth with your thoughts and emotions, I want you to embrace them because they're there to communicate something to you. This does not mean that they're always accurate, because that, let me tell you, is not true. This does not mean that the intensity of the emotions that you feel always match the facts of the situation. It does mean that you experience these thoughts and emotions because they are tied to some of the things that matter most for you. And you can always come back to thanking your brain for reminding you of those things that matter most to you. And this can shift sort of the perspective that we take when we're worrying or when we're feeling negative emotions, because it's not a bad thing. It's a normal thing, a painful thing, but not a bad thing. So, thank you, brain.